Basic parts of the computer and their function. The computer case. This is the part that holds all of the internal components to make up the computer itself. It is usually designed in such a manner to make fitting a motherboard, writing, and drives as easy as possible. Some are designed so well that it's easy to make everything look tidy and presentable. Motherboard. The motherboard is the main board that is screwed directly inside the computer case. All of other cards, everything else plugs directly into the motherboard, hence its name. The CPU, RAM, drives, power supply, and more all get connected to it. Its function is to integrate all the components with each other so they can communicate, operate together. CPU, or Central Processing Unit. The CPU is basically like the brain of a computer. It processes all the information on computation level. It takes information from the RAM and processes it to perform the tasks required from the computer. It is usually seated in a socket that utilizes a lever or a latch with a hinge plate with a cut out in the center to secure it onto the motherboard. RAM, Random Access Memory. RAM is the data store device that can provide fast read and write access. RAM is also a volatile, which means that it loses all the stored data the moment power is lost. The RAM keeps data ready for the CPU to process. The speed of the RAM is a big contributor to the overall speed of a computer. It plugs directly into a long slot which has contacts on either side of a graphics card. A graphics card processes the data from the motherboard and sends the appropriate information to the monitor in order for it to be displayed. It can do so using an HDMI display port, DVI, or VGA connector. A graphics card can also be referred to as a video card or a display card. It takes the burden of all the video processing from the main CPU. Gives a computer a big boost in performance because of the large processing requirements for a gaming graphics. Sound card. Most of the time, the sound chip built into the motherboard is used for audio output. But if you are sound enthusiast or prefer higher detailed audio while playing a game, you might be inclined to use a sound card. Sound cards plug in a computer in multiple ways. It can be through USB, PCI slot, or PCI Express times one slot. A sound processing chip on the card does all the audio processing is usually not a very powerful process. Hard drive. A hard drive is found in the most computers. It's usually a mechanical drive that stores all the data. Apart from storing data, it can also be used as a boot drive in order to run the operating system from it. An operating system is a software program that makes a computer usable, like Microsoft Windows, for example. The biggest vulnerability of a mechanical drive is the physically fragile nature of SSD, solid state drive. An SSD is also a type of hard drive, but it doesn't have any moving parts. It consists of a bank of flash memory that can hold a reasonable amount of data. While SSDs are increasing in size all the time, they aren't cost effective for storing large amount of data. A mechanical drive has a cheaper gigabyte to dollar ratio. PSU, Power Supply Unit. A power supply mounts inside the computer case. This converts AC main supply from the wall socket and supplies the correct DC voltage to all the components inside the computer. Monitor. A monitor is the way used to see a visual representation of the graphics data sent from the graphics card of the computer. There are various types of monitors on the market. The most commonly used is the LED backlit LCD monitor. There are also a variety of different sizes with different aspect ratios. The aspect ratio is simply the ratio between height and width. Keyboard. A keyboard is one of the ways to communicate with a computer. By typing a key from the keyboard, it sends a small portion of data to tell the computer which key was pressed. The computer can use this information in many ways. An example could be a command or a character that can be used in a document. Mouse. A mouse allows the user to move a pointer display on the monitor and experience a more intuitive interaction with the computer. These days, mice have more buttons that can commonly. The three main buttons, however, allows the user to select, grab, scroll, and access extra menus and options. Common external peripherals. Here are some common peripherals that get connected to a computer and extend its usefulness. Printer. A printer can take an image sent by a computer and deliver it onto a sheet of paper. It does this by using the data from the computer and by either using toner or ink. It deposits one of these in a controlled and accurate manner to form the scanner. A scanner can take anything of a piece of paper and scan it to produce a replicated digital image. This is also very handy for saving physical photos that you want to preserve. Once the photo is stored digitally, it won't decay as a physical photo does over. Computer speakers. Computer speakers can connect up the sound card at the rear of the computer. And another way they can be connected is by a monitor that already has built-in speakers. Generally, the sound quality is poor from a monitor speakers. That's why most people buy a set of the computer speakers to have on their computer desk. You can even connect up a 7.1 surround speaker system to certain sound